Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're reacting to why Larry Bird is underrated by Johnny Arnett. Larry Bird is quickly becoming one of my new favorite players, even though I am a Lakers fan. Hey, if Magic Johnson's a Larry Bird fan, I feel like it's fine for me to be a Larry Bird fan. If you're new around here, I am Gen Z, started watching ball in 2010, finally doing my due diligence to learn about legends of the past. So Larry Bird, why are you underrated according to Johnny Arnett? Big shout out to him, original video down in the description below. Let's hop into it, dude. Let's have the discourse.
It is widely accepted that Larry Bird is one of the greatest NBA players of all time, and even sneaks his way into the GOAT debate among many basketball circles. The thing is, I personally rank Larry Bird higher than most people do, as he's currently sitting in the 6th spot on my all-time list, and I even have him ranked slightly ahead of Magic Johnson, which is certainly a more uncommon opinion. I think there's some major misconceptions to Bird's game that result in him not getting quite as much credit as I believe he deserves, and by the end of this video, I think that I can convince some of you that Larry Legend is in fact underrated.
I've been asking a lot in my videos, is Larry better than Magic? I want to hear y'all's opinions. I like to hear this opinion that Larry's better than Magic, even though Magic has the more accolades.
Before we get into some misconceptions, let's start with what most people already know about Bird, and I'll elaborate upon it. Over his 13-year career, Larry averaged 24.3 points on a stellar 56.4 true shooting percentage. Despite their talent-heavy history, Bird is the Celtics' all-time leading playoff scorer. So whether it was in the regular season or the postseason, he was always an efficient and lethal threat. He was obviously a legendary scorer and an incredibly efficient shooter. Larry is objectively one of the greatest three-point shooters of all time, as he's tied with Craig Hodges for the most three-point contests won in a career with a total of 3.
I think Damian Lillard might have 3 now too.
The thing is, Hodges participated in a total of 8 three-point competitions, while Bird only participated in a total of 4.
If I was that one guy to beat Larry, never shutting up about it.
So he literally did the same amount of damage as the other all-time leader in half the amount of time. On top of all of this, you really could make the argument that Bird is the most all-around efficient scorer of NBA history. If that seems like a stretch, then consider this. During some of his prime years, Larry went on a 5-year stretch where he had 50-40-90 percentages. Only 9 players in NBA history have achieved at least one season of 50-40-90 percentages. Yet Larry did it over a 5-year stretch while putting up just about 28, 10, and 7 each night. The only player who has come close to that all-around efficiency over such a long period of time is actually Steve Nash. But the thing is, Nash was never primarily a scorer and averaged roughly half the amount of points that Larry did during his stretch. To efficiently score that many points on that kind of volume of all-around shot attempts is something that no one else has ever done as well as Larry Bird did. Again, maybe some of you didn't know the extent of how lethal Larry was as an all-around efficient scorer, but I do feel like that's probably the most commonly understood aspect of his game. Now for the misconceptions and the details that definitely make Larry an underrated player.
Let's go.
There are a lot of people, especially younger basketball fans, who believe that Larry was a subpar defender. This is incredibly inaccurate, as Bird wasn't just a good defensive player, but a great one. As a 6'9" small forward, he definitely had the size and length to frustrate the offensive opponent. Sure, there is the narrative that Larry was a slow and unathletic player, and thus it affected his defensive play. This is true to a certain extent, but it's also grossly exaggerated. What Larry did have are the most important traits of a great defensive player, which are hustle, heart, intelligence, effort, and availability.
Dude, so much of defense is just effort. I agree with this.
Larry was never lacking in any of these areas. He always put in the work, and he was incredible not only at reading the defenses, but also at anticipating them. Larry made 3 NBA All-Defense teams throughout the course of his career, and even finished as high as 3rd overall in the Defensive Player of the Year running in 1983.
That I did not see coming. Getting 3rd in DPOY running.
He wasn't just a solid on-ball and help defender, but he was also a terrific pickpocket. as Larry averaged a fantastic 1.7 steals per game over the course of his 13-year career.
Dang.
His best evening in this area came on February 18, 1985 against the Utah Jazz, when Larry dropped 30 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, and 9 steals in only 3 quarters of play. Due to them absolutely destroying the Jazz, Bird didn't play a second of the fourth quarter.
Homie could have got a quadruple double, and he almost got it in 3 quarters.
To this day, the NBA record for the most
Dang.
steals in a single game is 11. So not only could he have
Dude.
easily been only the second player to ever achieve the quadruple double,
He could've.
but if Bird had played the fourth, he might have been the record holder for the most steals in a game. You have to be a great defensive player in order to be in a position to seize that record.
Facts.
On top of all of that, Bird led the entire NBA in defensive win shares a total of 4 times.
Dang.
That's the 4th most in NBA history.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, Larry was hustle. He had the mentality, he had the IQ to anticipate everything. Like, I love that they're explaining how defense isn't just pure athleticism and speed, but it's so much technique in it.
The only players
Beautiful.
ahead of him on that list are Tim Duncan,
Tim!
George Mikan, and Bill Russell.
Dude, I don't know much about Mike, and I'm gonna have to check more of him out.
That is a remarkably short list of great defensive players. I'm not trying to say that Bird was on the level of someone like Dennis Rodman or Scottie Pippen,
Yeah.
but to call Larry anything other than a great defensive player is either completely ignorant or is just plain disrespect towards his game. The other key area where people underappreciate Bird was his rebounding ability, as Larry was simply one of the greatest rebounding small forwards that the game has ever seen. He was aggressive and tenacious as he got as high as 11 rebounds per game in 1983.
Wow.
Qualities that I mentioned earlier, like his size, hustle, and intelligence, are also things that helped him as he battled on the boards. Over the course of his career, Larry averaged a whopping 10 rebounds per game, and when he was starting specifically at the small forward position, he averaged 9.5 rebounds per game.
Crazy.
That's
dude.
the 3rd highest average among primary small forwards in NBA history. The only players ahead of him are Billy Cunningham and Elgin Baylor, who both played in the 1960s, which was easily the most inflated rebounding era of basketball history.
Yeah.
So not only is Bird an underrated rebounder, not only is he objectively one of the all-time great rebounders, but he's also arguably the greatest rebounder ever at his position. Along with all the
Dang.
other skills I talked about, Larry was also a remarkably gifted facilitator. But I won't delve into that much, because like his shooting, I also think that's an area that a decent amount of people have a strong appreciation for. Ultimately, I think it's his solid defense and his elite rebounding that people underestimate,
Yeah.
which is why I think he's underrated, regardless of the fact that people still refer to him as Larry Legend. Do you agree? Where does Larry Bird rank on your list of the greatest players of all time? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Dude, honestly, dude, very convincing. Like, if you told me Larry's top 5 all time, I'm not mad at you. Underrated, like, potentially the greatest rebounder at his position in modern NBA history. An incredible passer. We know that. Probably the most efficient shooter of all time. Started the 50-40-90 club. Was 50-40-90 for 5 years, which is unheard of, unbelievable. Gosh, what else, dude? The hustle, the heart, the IQ, the mentality. I know Larry has less accolades than maybe some other all-time greats. He has 3 MVPs, 3 in a row, by the way, the only time that ever happened. He won 3 championships, one of them against his biggest rival, Magic Johnson. I know his career was cut short due to injuries, and perhaps that's the reason he's underrated all time, but I don't know, man. Like, as far as what you want in your, like, prototypical basketball player, he has basically everything minus Michael Jordan's athleticism and speed. He has literally everything else you could ever really want. So if he had Michael Jordan's athleticism and speed, I think we're talking about Larry as the GOAT, man. He just didn't have that physical ability. He had the heart. He just didn't have that physical ability to, like, absolutely take over. So, I don't know, man. Let me know what y'all think. Do you think Larry Bird is grossly underrated in NBA history? I'm kind of starting to believe that, because when I look at these all-time rankings that ESPN does and Bleacher Report and all that, Larry's normally around like 7, 8, 9-ish. But I'm kind of thinking he should be top 5. I don't know, man. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. I'm becoming a big Larry fan, and I want to check more about him out. Let me know if there's some good videos I can check out. I'll catch you guys later. Doses!